welcome Perry Kurtz.
Love your jacket.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
matches my hat.
It does. We should go out.
Yeah.
I don't trust you. You're allowed to get fresh.
I got a cane.
Okay. That's good for me.
Slows me down.
Well, you'll pick up speed. Well, welcome to my show. My name is Perry Kurtz. I am going to be your entertainment for a while. And I want you to know my show is a little bit different. I'm not just going to be talking to you and telling you jokes. I'm going to be talking with you. So I may ask you questions. If your answer is yes, I don't want you to have to clap or put your hand up. I want you to make a sound. Sound is very popular in the Deep South. So what we're going to do is on the count of three, you're going to go, hee-haw! See, women like it because women like to make noises. So, on the count of three, everybody go hee-haw as hard and as long as you can. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ooh, you better calm down. All right, remember, your answer is yes, hee-haw. My name is Perry Kurtz, first of all. Perry like is Perry Como, Perry Mason, Perry Winkle. My mother uses a medication called Perry Anal Cream. She tells me that every time I call her, just to make me uncomfortable. And also now there's a very famous rock and roll singer by the name of Katy Perry. Sure you've heard of her?
Yeah.
Only she's a woman. I'm a man. Don't make me prove that. I proved it last week. She said, "Oh, you're Jewish." All right, now we know what you're getting.
Yeah.
No, we're going to keep it clean. Don't worry. I don't want to get anybody offended.
Okay.
Except maybe her. She's ready for this stuff. I can see that. So I'm originally from Philadelphia. Anybody ever heard of Philadelphia? Okay. Yeehaw. Very good. You remember now, yeah. Philadelphia is one of the original cities. They consider themselves advanced, modern, forward-thinking. Yet all these years, they haven't fixed the Liberty Bell. We can put a man on the moon, but they can't put some duct tape over that track. So my mother is back there. She is 88 years old, and I think she has dementia. Do we have anybody here with dementia?
I don't remember.
Good answer. I know I have it. Because where I live out near Sylmar, which I heard somebody got married in Sylmar. I live out there, and where I get off the freeway, it splits. And one night I pulled up there, and I didn't know whether to make a left or a right. So, thank God I had my cell phone with me. Who doesn't have their cell phone with me? I called somebody, they said, go left. So what I did is I cut out a white cardboard L, and I put it on the left side of my dashboard. So when I pull up, I look at the L, and it means go left. Yeah, I pulled up 2 weeks ago, I looked at the L, and I went, L, I'm lost. So now I just made a little sign, left turn. So my mother's got it really bad. I called her up and said, hi, Mom. Who's this? This is Perry. Perry? I have a son named Perry. Yeah, Mom, this is Perry. This is your son. Oh, okay. Who's calling? Mom, this is Perry. Perry is not here. Who wants him? This is Perry calling. Your name's Perry too? Mom, this is Perry. I'm your son. Remember Perry? Yes, I have a son named Perry. This is Perry calling you. Who's calling me? This is Perry. Are you my mother? I have 2 sons. Are you one of my kids? Yeah, this is Perry calling. Wait a minute. My son's name is Perry too. What an amazing coincidence. I go, Mom, I have a brother named Victor. Oh, you know Victor too? So now I skip right to the immediate. Mom, did you eat today? Wait, let me look in the sink. Now see, some of you are laughing because you do this. You get up in the morning, you get busy, and you forget to eat. Then 3 or 4 hours later, you're standing there and your hands are going, oh, I forgot to put gas in the car. Eat every day. Keep some fruit in your place. An apple, banana. Bananas are great. Once you hit 60, we're all low on potassium. Eat a banana every day. It's good for you. And it keeps the motor running. I hate to tell you this, but some of us are starting to get older. Now, don't ever consider yourself old. We're older. Older means motion. We're getting older. The bottom line is, as they say, every day above ground is a good day, right? You're all here, you got down here, and that's the important thing. So you got to try and enjoy your life. Now, I myself, I'm 67, so I'm not just here to entertain you. I'm also looking for a place to live. And this is a beautiful property. I mean, I looked around, you got everything. You got the gym there, you got TV room, you got a swimming pool. This is like, you found Eden here. You know, actually she works in one of the other offices. That was a little joke I just wrote right there for me and just 3 people. So my name's Kurtz. I have been a comedian since 1974.
Where did Perry go?
Where did Perry go? My mom, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. You're going to be fun, and I'm glad you sat up front. This is great. Here's what I like. I like interaction. I've been a comedian since 74, and I go and play comedy clubs, and because I have confidence and I walk on the stage comfortably, people don't say anything. I love hecklers. So if you have anything to yell out at any point, feel free. Free. Very good. All right. That's what we're looking for. So, as I said, I started in 74. All my life, I've been funny. I'm just different. I move a lot. I'm very expressive. When I was 10 years old, I started making people laugh. And all my life, people said, "You're funny. You should be a comedian." So in 1974, I went to Barrington, New Jersey, to a club called the Crazy Horse Saloon. My friend said, "There's a talent contest. Let's go and see what happens." I go up, and I just babbled for 5 minutes. And I walked out with $500. And I said, "This is what I need to do." So I took a couple comedy classes, started doing it in Philadelphia, but there was no money to be made. So I just hung out and was doing it for a while. And I retired. I quit my job. I was an art director at a religious publishing house in Philadelphia, making $143,000 after taxes in 1974. Multiply that times 5. That's where I would be now. But I had money saved up. I had $60,000 in the bank, and I lived on that. And then in 1979, I moved to San Francisco, where comedy was booming. I got there, and the first person I met, became one of my best friends, was a guy named Robin Williams. Robin and I clicked because I'm improvisational. I don't know what's coming out of my mouth. And him and I used to do 2-3 hours of improv together every week. When he was doing a big show, I was invited. Him and I would do an hour on stage together. So we were very close. In 1981, I met Bill Cosby, and I used to have dinner with Bill once a month. He used to come to town, and Enrico Banducci's, it's a fancy restaurant on Broadway where all the stars and celebrities go, and I had mixed myself in. So I had dinner with him every month. And I know he's got some issues now, and you know, I don't want to say anything. He was kind of aggressive in those days, and I do remember once I did fall asleep during dinner, and I woke up and there was a cigar in my mouth. And, I think it was. I just fell right back to sleep, so I don't really remember. Just trying to see how far we can go with you guys. And you know, it's great. You're working this stuff out. That's the best. So that's it. We're not going any further. But
Sure.
from having dinner with him, he taught me that comedy is all about personality. It's all about your real life. If it's real, people get the emotions. And so I don't write jokes. I just talk. But having dinner with him, I got to meet Rodney Dangerfield, and I became best friends with Jack. His real name is Jack Roy. He used to fly me to New York 3-4 times a year to work at Dangerfield. The money was great. $3,000 a week for 4 nights work.
Wow.
Not bad. And he would tell me, "Don't bring any cash." He paid for everything.
Wow.
Transportation from the airport, airfare, food, whatever I wanted. I just said, "Hey, Jack, send it down." So he'd do it. And then a couple years later, I met my other best friend, Uncle Milton Berle. And from those 3 guys, I learned what comedy really is. Now, Milton and I became very close. He was like a grandfather to me. And he used to fly me down to Los Angeles to work at the Friars Club. You heard of that, where they had the roasts and all? One night I was down here, and I got to do a long set, which was 12 minutes. Normally they would give me 7. but I was killing, and they left me up there. I get up the stage, and I'm surrounded by Johnny Carson, Shecky Green, Joey Bishop, Phyllis Diller, Tony Fields, and Charles Durning. And Johnny walks to me and says, "Hey kid, I saw your stuff. I like it. You deliver just like me. You're very funny. I think you might have a career." I turn around and get tapped on the shoulder. A little heavy-set bald guy. He takes my hand and goes, "Hey kid, I saw your show. Nice try." Don Rickles. I was insulted by Don Rickles. So are you, really? Yeah, well, somebody said that's a good sign. If you have a show down there and he insults you, you're doing good. So this is all I've been doing. I lived up there for a while, and then he flew me down here one time, and he got me an audition at the Comedy Store, and I got in there as a paid regular. My name is on the wall, and for a couple of years I worked there. The money was amazing, and I was down there, and all the stars were coming in. I got to work with Richard Pryor for a couple of years, who was really the sweetest person I've ever met. David Letterman was coming down. Andrew Dice Clay had just become Andrew Dice Clay. Sam Kinison, the crazy screamer, was there. And in 1990, I met my wife. And I've been married now for 27 years in a row, consecutively, to the same woman.
Good for you.
Thank you. And it has not been easy. Anybody here married? So you understand what stress is. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yes. Marriage is working. You have to learn to work together. And gentlemen, you probably know by now, when you're married, she's always right.
That's right. That's right.
You only got- I like the way you guys look at their wives first. They go, "Yeah, that's right. That's right." But you may not wake up tomorrow, so you never know. So I've been married to her. We met online. Now, back in the early days, back in 1990, computers weren't as fast as they are now. They didn't have images. All it was letters, and they were black and white on a gray screen, and they would build themselves out of dots. That's how slow it was. So I typed my name and it went boop, 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 boop. That was the P alone. By the time my name finished on the screen, my wife made a sandwich, ate it, digested it, and made another sandwich. So we talked for about 20 minutes on the computer. She called me up and we talked for 40 hours over 3 days. And I fell in love with her because she had a really strong Southern accent. Anybody here from the South?
Yes.
You ever hear that?
California.
Where at?
Southern California.
Yeah, okay, I was in San Diego yesterday, that's almost the South. No, that's part of Earth, I'm talking this deep South. People in the deep South talk differently.
Yeah.
They have a way of stretching out their words. See, they live in the South. They talk slow, they walk slow, they drive slow because they have nothing to do when they get there. So they draw the words out. They don't just say hello, they go, "Hi! How are you? What's up?" Up has 6 syllables in the South. And my wife has a favorite phrase. Whenever she was going out, she would say, "I'm going over yonder." I'm sure you've heard that one, right?
Yeah.
I've looked at 157 maps. There was no place called yonder. I don't know where she went, but she always came back. So we were going out in those days, and I had a motorcycle. When I lived in San Francisco, I bought a motorcycle because there's no place to park up there. There's one parking space for every 26 people. So I bought a motorcycle. It's a big blue Kawasaki was the brand. And because that's all I had, and I was traveling a lot, I was going from San Francisco up to Seattle, out to Phoenix, down to San Diego, and back up there. So I was just making this big triangle. I was putting 40,000 miles a year on a motorcycle. So I had a big windshield on there and a giant trunk to put all my stuff in. So on the trunk, I put my name. I put Perry Cycle in big white letters. Are you getting the joke? Perry Cycle?
Yeah.
People did not always get it. I would have people pull up next to me trying to go, "Hey, what's a Perry Cycle?" "It's mine." "Your name's Perry?" "Yes, it is." "What are you, a comedian?" "Yes, I am." And they would try to run me over. So in those days we were going out on a motorcycle, which is great. Then after going out with her 6 months, she says, "Hey, why don't you come out to my house?" She lived out in Van Nuys, so I drove out there. I walk in the house, There's a man sitting on the couch watching TV. There's a little baby girl trying to crawl on the floor, and a little 5 and a 6-year-old girl sitting in the corner playing with blocks. So I asked a logical question. Honey, who are these kids? And she gets hysterical. I guess I forgot to tell you. I have children. And I'm looking at the 2 doors thinking, which one of these is going to get me out of here quick? You ever heard the phrase, don't get involved with somebody that has baggage?
Yep.
My wife owns Samsonite. But I got to know the kids, and they were all very attractive, and they were very smart, and they didn't look anything like me. And I figured they needed a father, because they did not know their fathers. Now, back in 1974, one of the reasons I quit my job and became a comedian is because I went down to Atlantic City during the summer. Now, you've heard of Atlantic City. This is back in the old days, before they had the casinos. Remember the song, Under the Boardwalk?
Yeah.
That's from Atlantic City. I was part of that generation. I was arrested many times under there. So that's where you would go to party, drink, and meet people. I was sitting in a bar drinking double shots of Southern Comfort, chased with a Coke, no ice. Now, Southern Comfort is very strong. It's very sugary. I like that because I'm diabetic. I started out drinking Hershey syrup out of the can. I stopped when my mother found me on the floor in the kitchen on my back, just pouring it into my mouth. Then I started using spoons. So I have a sweet tooth. So when I found Southern Comfort, I said, this is great. So I was drinking double shots. I had 2 double shots, and a cowboy trucker comes in, big cowboy hat, curled up on the sides. He says, wow, I can't believe it, a little man like you drinking all that? Think you can drink more, little man? I looked and I said, if you're buying, he bought me 6 more double shots of Southern Comfort. That's 3/4 of a bottle. Now, I'm a little guy, I'm a little under 6 feet tall. I'll tell you when it's a joke. And I just took the challenge. I have what they call the Napoleonic complex. I'm a little guy, you say you can't do it. I go, watch me. I have 2 speeds, fast and get out of my way. So I chugged them all. He gets up and leaves, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I felt something change in my body. And I turned into liquid mercury. And I slowly slid off the stool until I was face down on the floor. And I said to myself, well, I'm really drunk. It should be easy to pick up a woman now. Why do guys think that because they're drunk and they can mumble at the same time, that women are going to find them attractive? You ever know these guys you walk past and like, hi, how you doing? Excuse me. So I walked across the street. I did 2 things that drunks do. I started to walk, I began to fall. I hit one knee, hit the other knee, bounced up, stood up, turned around, and watched myself do it in slow motion as Keanu Reeves. Whoa. Then I started to fall again, and I did the thing you see the drunks do, when they're going to fall and they stabilize against the invisible wall. You know what I'm talking about? It looks like this. They fix their hair and they're fine. I get on the bar, everybody's dancing. Trying to get women to dance with me, but they couldn't understand me. Because I couldn't understand me. It was basically, they were giving me the finger, they were pushing me, they were running away. I got depressed. I went up in the corner talking to a little girl who had really big teased up hair in the 70s. That was the thing. Remember that? With the big beehives? So she had big dark hair. But she was just staring at me. She wasn't really responding. She was just looking at me. And I got upset. I got depressed. I walked out of the bar, I crossed the street, and I went to the dock. And I was looking down at the cold Atlantic Ocean, watching the waves. Nobody wants me. I'm gonna be alone forever. I can't take it anymore. I'm gonna kill myself. And I stepped off the dock. What I didn't see 6 feet down sticking out was another dock. I landed on it, twisted my ankle, woke up with a big bump on my head, fell asleep. Woke up the next day in jail with 35 other guys. My friend bails me out. Tells me I climbed 2 10-foot chain link fences to get to this dock. It was a Coast Guard dock on hydraulics that went up to those giant Coast Guard boats. It had a fence around it. I climbed over the fence and then fell down. $5,000. He paid it. I paid him back over the next 10 years. They told me I could have gone to jail because I had trespassed on government property. So we're driving back. I got a lump on my head the size of a softball. And I'm holding it. He goes, man, you were really messed up last night. I said, yeah, I know. Last thing I remember, I was in the bar talking to this girl with really big hair. And he starts laughing. I go, what's so funny? He goes, girl with big hair. you were on your knees talking to a bar stool. So I gave up drinking.
Good for you.
Yep. So when I met this woman who had these 3 kids that did not know their fathers, I figured I'm a guy who could be a father. I don't drink. I've had 1 cigarette in my life. I don't do any drugs. I'm clean. I work for a living. Why not? So one night at dinner, I gave everybody a little gold ring, put it on their finger, and I got down beside the dining room table and I said, I'd like to ask the 4 of you to marry me. And everybody said, okay, except my son. We said, yeah, whatever. Can we just have dinner now? So we wound up getting married at City Hall in downtown Los Angeles. Now, first question, how many people here had a nice fancy wedding with your friends and family? Hee-haw.
Yes.
Yes.
We got married at City Hall. City Hall is not as nice as the bathrooms down the hall here, okay? It's just black and gray marble. That's all it is. And I go up to the counter with everybody, and there's a guy that said, hi, we'd like to get married. He goes, oh yeah, you like to get married. Yeah, we want to get married. Oh, we marry everybody here. We love to marry people. We can marry you. Okay, and the kids are like backing up. It's all right, it's all right. He goes, oh, have a seat, we call you when we're wedding. Fine. We sit down, 20 minutes later, we hear, Sarah and Perry, please come in. We walk in, it's the same guy wearing a judge's robe. Only now he's speaking perfect English, the accent is gone. So he goes through the book and he gets in, he goes, now Sarah, do you take Perry to be your lawfully wedded husband? She goes, I do. And he goes, and Perry, do you take these people to be your family? And I said, yeah, what the heck, I'm here, right? You notice the ladies are laughing and the guys aren't? Here's why, guys, because ladies remember every stupid thing we do forever. They never forget. 25 years later, they will remind you of something stupid you did, and they will throw it in your face when you're sitting with all your friends. Remember when you did that? It's just the way it is. So we got married. We went on the road. We were going to move to South Carolina, live near my wife's father, because there was a lot of work in the South. And we started driving. Our first stop was our honeymoon. We spent there where I worked in Barstow.
Oh.
Yeah, Barstow. We didn't even make it to Laughlin. Barstow is a very small town. It is one main road. You pull in, you loop around, you're out of town in 10 minutes. There's a sign that says, welcome to, thank you for coming. And there's a lot of inbreeding. There is. We actually met people who are their own parents. So we stopped there for the night, stayed in the Holiday Inn, started driving. We went through Texas, we went through Alabama, Mississippi, went down into Florida, came up, and we ended up living in South Carolina near Spartanburg, near my wife's father, right across the street. He's a very nice man, 6'8", big man. And he knew everybody in town. One day he throws a party on his back 40, as they called it, gets everybody around, and he made barbecue. He had these oil drums, and he had 6 of them making barbecue for everybody in town. And he says, hey, everybody, come here. Come on, get down here. Come here. Everybody gather around. Make a circle. Come here. Come on down. Everybody get down here. Come here. Come here. I want to talk to y'all. Hey, Bobby, put the gun down, Bobby. Bobby, don't aim it. Just put it down. Don't push it with your foot. Good, Bobby. All right, everybody, I want to thank y'all for coming down here. As you may or may not know, my daughter Sarah got married, and she brought her family back here, And come here, I want you to meet my son-in-law. This. And I hear from the back of the line, I never seen one before. So everybody breaks up, they walk away, and a big guy comes over and he's standing there looking at the top of my head. He goes, I don't see no horns. I said, we cut them off in the 1200s, pal. They're gone. So we lived there. Everybody was very nice, but we were there for a couple of years and we came back out here. Got back out here, my wife started talking, well, I want to have another baby, and I don't want to have children. Back in the 60s and the early 70s, I did smoke marijuana, probably my body weight, and I heard that if you do drugs, it distorts your chromosomes. And when you have a child that has an extra arm or a finger growing out of its head. So I did not want to reproduce. She did, but she got on birth control. One day she takes me in the bedroom, crosses her arms, leans back against the wall, and she says, guess what? And I went, what did I do this time? Which is a normal reaction when you've been married for a while. She goes, I'm pregnant. And I went, any idea who the father is? She didn't seem to find that funny. She says, you're the father, get used to it, and grow into it. And I went, okay. And I sat down on the bed, she walked out, and I started freaking out. I'm a comedian. I'm out every night. I'm in bars all the time. There's people smoking. And now I'm going to raise a child of my own? Oh, my God. And I watched my wife grow into it. I watched her grow and grow and grow and grow. She gained 111 pounds before the baby was born. Yes, she weighed 243 pounds when the baby was born. She was so round that if you pushed her sideways, she would eventually roll back to a standing position. Then 5 weeks before the baby was due, she started having cramps. The vein in her head was popping out. It looked like a finger. So I took her to the hospital, and the doctor said, Mr. Kurtz, we got 20 minutes to get the baby out of your wife or she's going to die. And I looked at him and said, can you give me 30 minutes to think about that? He looks at me and goes, what are you, a comedian? Well, yes, I am. He goes, well, you're welcome to come in. It's going to be a cesarean, so we'll call you in when it's safe. They call me in. My wife's on the table. They got her legs hanging from ropes, and he's in between her legs, and he's got both hands in her stomach. And he's just pulling things out and dropping them back in like he lost a watch in the drawer. And he's talking to the nurses about renting cars to go to Las Vegas. No, don't use National. Use Enterprise. They're much cheaper. No, how much did you pay? No. Take my wallet out. Take my wallet. There's a card for Enterprise. Use my card. Oh, well, I found her. He takes her out and he hands her to me. Now, does anybody here have children that you know of? I want you to think back to when you looked into the eyes and the face of that first child. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. It's more beautiful than all the sunsets, all the sunrises, all the roses. It's more beautiful than $1 million in cash. All right, it's close on that. She hands her to me, and she was really tiny. She was 5 weeks early. And I'm holding her, and I'm looking at her, I go, oh my God, she's got my ears. He goes, yes, she does. And then he goes, do you want to cut the cord? And I said, she's plugged in? He said, no, the umbilical cord. I said, you're going to give me a scissors? He led me over, and I put her on a little platform over the side of the room, and it was all cordoned up, and I put her there. I go to cut it. Now, I thought that it was just going to go snip. No, it's not like a cord. It's not like a rope. It's like a steel bar. Every time I would squeeze the scissors, it would squeeze out. So I'm chasing her umbilical cord around her stomach. I turn around, there's 50 people in the room. They called all the doctors and all the nurses. They're laughing. They're applauding. They're whistling. They're taking pictures, you know. And I go, hey, yeah, I'm trying to work here. Finally, he comes over and says, let me help you with that. We do that to everybody. I looked and said, you need to get out more. So we took her home, we named her Bella because we thought she was the most beautiful thing in the world. And she absolutely was amazing. She was responsive right from the start. About 6 weeks after the birth, she was in the bassinet. I come walking through the bedroom at night and I hear, roar. I jumped. I thought the devil was in the house. You ever hear the devil on a TV show? It's always like, I'm the devil. I'm Lucifer. Roar. I think it would be better if the devil sounded like Ethel Merman. Comes out in a pink jumpsuit. I'm the devil. There's no business like show business. I think it'd be much more interesting. So I keep walking and I hear it again. And the smell hits me. And I can't breathe. And my eyebrows and eyelashes burst into flames. And I fell to the floor. Choking, I crawled in bed. I woke my wife up. Honey, what's that horrible smell coming out of the baby? She goes, oh, it's from the baby food. We give it to him at night and he gets the gases out. I said, I wish you had told me about that. She said, get used to it. It's always her answer. She always has an answer for something. A couple weeks later, we're watching TV. We're all watching The Little Mermaid or some Disney movie with the kids. And my wife says, I'm going to go watch a cop show. And it offended me that we're watching Disney and she decides she's going to go watch people shoot each other. So I got even. I waited till she was sleeping and I ate some baby food. I waited about a half hour till my stomach was gurgling. Crawled into bed. I woke her up. I said, honey, pull my finger. She pulled my finger. She goes, oh my God, what's that horrible smell? I looked at her and said, baby food. Good night, honey. And I went to sleep. So now my little baby is 14 years old. She's this tall and she is beautiful. And I know this because when we go out, we do a lot of karaoke together. Women always come up there and say the same thing. You are so pretty, honey. Your mother must be stunning. Do I get some credit for being there? So, people don't seem to believe that I could possibly turn out a good-looking child. So, I bring a picture of my baby. Is that amazing? I made that. And she uses that now. When we go to karaoke, sometimes she'll get done singing and she gets up and she belts it out and she dances. She's all over the place, puts out all this energy. And so a couple times women would come up and they would talk to her. One time a woman comes up and puts her hand on her shoulder. And being a protective father, I went up there and I put my hand on her shoulder. And the lady goes, is this your grandpa? And she goes like this, takes the arm off, she walks up and goes, lady, that's a bad way to start a conversation. It's my father, he made me. And just backs up. So she's cool, I love her. She's always got something funny to say. She's into dancing now. The only problem is she's 14 and she just started high school. Anybody have kids go to high school? Girls go to high school?
Boys.
The devil has incarnated his child. They need everything now, right now, 10 minutes ago. But she's the best. I have a great time with her. Right now, though, I'm sure you can all see my jacket, right, where you're seated.
Love it.
It's a one of a kind. I bought it in 1981 for $21. Let me show you the back. Yep.
Very nice. I was thinking maybe you'd give it away.
No way. I have been to 5 Academy Award parties. There's like 5,000 people there. I am the only man that's ever had one. And what's great is women are always coming up and touching it like they don't believe it's real. So I'm not doing that, but it is very warm because it's got metal foil on it. So it's getting warm, so I'm going to, as we say in the business, take it off. Now ladies, don't go jumping up, don't go pulling out your dollar bills. I'm only taking off the jacket, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, good heavens.
Is that too much for you?
Oh, too much.
That's the only flexing I'm going to do.
Oh, and he kicks it.
It folds up. I roll it up inside itself so it doesn't lose all the parts. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. As I said, we're all getting older, and let's face it, it's not easy getting older. Personally, I don't like being called a senior. I think we should be called vintage.
That sounds like wine.
It could be. It gets better as it gets older, right?
That's right.
Exactly, and so do we. Vintage means you have value, you've been knocked down, you've been kicked down, you've been fixed up, but you still work. And let's face it, we are the people for the last 70, 80, 90 years that have kept this country going. Where is it going now? I don't know. Who knows what's going on? Hey, it's Halloween, there's a pumpkin in the White House.
More than one?
More than one, that's right. But there's only one obvious one. You know, and everybody, you know, what's great about, what I love about doing these shows is none of you are on your cell phone. You see kids these days, they can't walk without having that phone in front of them. The next generation is going to be born with giant thumbs. They don't even talk to each other. Teachers are complaining because children cannot communicate. Everything's, oh, LOL.
Yeah.
Laughing out loud. They have all these letters for words.
Right.
And they're always on it. They're walking down the street. Oh, I didn't see you, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I saw a kid walk into a moving car that was stopping at a traffic light. He bounced over the hood, landed on his feet, and kept walking. Obviously, he did this before. You know, and then I saw, I think it was like 10 or 12 kids sitting at a round table outside of a Panda Express, elbow to elbow. Nobody's talking. All of a sudden, one starts laughing. Oh, that's funny. Oh, wait. David, look at your phone. And he goes, what? Oh, that's great. Susie, check your phone. Takes him 10 minutes to send a 30-second joke around the table. I saw a teenager walking in a mall. He tripped. He dropped his phone. The screen shattered, and he laid on the floor and cried. My phone is broken. I can't breathe. Come on. We didn't have that. When we were young, we couldn't drop our phone. We couldn't lose our phone. It was attached to the wall. Where's the phone? Same place it's always been. You know, remember when you would pick up the phone and there was somebody else on it? Party line.
Right.
Hello? Hi. This is Perry in 1040. Yeah, next door. Yeah, I know. Can you bang on the wall when you're done with the phone? That was communication. We're done. Thank you. Things have changed so much. But I want to ask a couple of quick questions. First of all, everybody can see me, all right? Remember, if your answer is yes, go yeah. How many people are seeing me today for the first time? Okay.
Were you on, when were you on America's Got Talent?
That was back in 2012.
We probably saw you, but I don't remember.
I had the jacket on, but they jerked me around. I was on there to rap and dance, and they put on music I never heard of. And when I started to rap, they shut off my microphone to the audience, told them to stand up and boo me, and X'd me out. And I just found out 6 months ago that it was all planned.
Oh, I was there on 2013.
That was the next year.
20,
Well, I imagine it was 20, unless you're older than me.
2014.
Right.
And they thought I was too old to stand all the stress and strain because I was only 95.
Oh, I love the way she said that. I was only 95. I love your attitude. That's great that you said only 95. But yeah, that's the way TV is. It's not what you think it is. You know, they set up, it turns out that they had jerked me around because they had 3 sets of little children on there, 5 to 7 years old, singers and dancers, and they were terrible. And every reality show has to kick somebody off. So they decided they would kick me off because I was comfortable and it wasn't going to hurt my feelings. You know, Howard Stern had all this horrible stuff to say about me. When they stopped me, they X'd me out, and he goes, your dancing is going to drive me to a gay bar. Meanwhile, the audience is standing in back of them like this. Suddenly, they cut, the split screen goes right to the audience now seated, and they're all laughing, and he goes, well, Perry, thanks for being here. In between that, after you said your dancing is going to drive me to a gay bar, I said, Howard, at least they'll welcome you back. Got a big laugh, cut to, well, Perry, thank you for coming. So I did that, and then done a couple other things. I was on the James Corden show at the beginning of the year. In February, I was on the Gong show. On August 2nd, I got gonged, which is good, because I got $1,000 and 11 million people saw me. When I was on the James Corden show, 23 million people saw me. And they sent me $2,500. And it was great. I did something which I'm going to do to close the show with. But the bottom line is, I'm dealing with two. Like I said, I'm 67, I'm going through it. I heard somebody here talking about you had your knees replaced and your hip replaced. Is that you? Yeah, anybody else have their hip replaced out there? Hip replacements?
No, I got a pin in mine, I just broke it.
Alright, that's much better.
They pinned me to bed.
A pin's good, because you can always remove that if you have to change your clothes. I don't know what I'm saying. You got a hip replacement back there?
Shoulder.
Shoulder, oh. Hips are horrible. They're horrible. I had mine done 11 years ago, but I don't ever want to get the knees. I've heard that's the worst.
Oh, knees, terrible.
Yeah, what happened is, because I'm diabetic, I got arthritis, and I developed a bone spur in my left hip. But there was a lump about a ½ inch tall, so when I would walk, it would go. And it was a couple years after Belle was born, and I remember I was picking her up, and my wife's in the hallway, she heard, "What's that crunch?" "Oh, that's my hip." Well, the pain got really bad. I went and saw a doctor, and he said, "We're going to have to replace your hip." So I'm going, okay, I'm going like this, all right, fine. He told me what's going to happen. They're going to take it off, they're going to put a new one in, you're going to be walking in 3 days. Well, one night I had a nightmare. I dreamt that I was on the operating table, and I heard the doctor say, "Nurse, I think I've cut too deep." And she says, "Why do you think that, doctor?" He said, "Because I just scratched the table."
Oh, dear.
Now that was just a nightmare, but it scared me enough that I put off the operation for 2 years and went to a couple doctors and started taking a medication. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's called Vicodin.
Yes.
I was taking 10 to 20 pills a day. It worked. It took care of the pain. I didn't have any pain. In fact, I couldn't feel anything from my neck down. I didn't know if I was going to the bathroom or not. In fact, one time I was leaving the Improv and I was saying goodbye to Bud, the owner. I said, "Hey Bud, thanks for having me on the show. Really had a good time, but I got to go." He goes, "You already did." Then about 2 years later, something inside me shifted and changed, and now I have to wear an extra piece of clothing. Now I have to wear plastic pants. And I'm not complaining. To me, it's a comfort, because it doesn't matter what I'm doing. If I got to go at any point, I can just, wait a minute. Just stop and go. So it's an actual benefit. But the thing about aging is we get older and we forget our successes. Never forget the things that you've done in your life. You are here because you've done something right. Think of all the people that were younger than you that did not make it, but we're still here. And you have to applaud yourself for that. You made it. And one of the things that you need to remember is the important things in your life. The most important day of your year is your birthday. Always celebrate your birthday. Now, I always say to women, "How old are you?" And they have the same answer. Old enough to know better.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Better than what? If somebody asks your age, tell them. So let's find out, do we have anybody here in the past couple of months or in the next couple of months celebrated a birthday or has got a birthday coming up? Anybody? Right here, right there. We got a couple of them, all right.
I had one.
All right, well, we'll get to you. We'll start with you. You were the first. What's your name, sir?
Nick,
Nick. Thanks for yelling. I appreciate that. For the people on the balcony. And when is your actual birthday?
November 21,
November 21. How old will you be?
87.
87, so you're a year younger than my mom. Congratulations, that's great. And what did you used to do when you used to work?
When I used to work,
Right.
well, I used to fix TVs for Sears, and I became a pastor for the last 30 years.
All right, terrific. And are you married?
Yep.
This lady right here? Look at her. Here I am, the lucky recipient of your love.
That's right.
Well, happy birthday to you. And your name, dear?
Joan.
Joan, and you know this man?
I do, he's wonderful.
He's wonderful. Well, thanks for an appraisal.
Yes.
We appreciate that. Where'd you guys meet?
Blind date.
Blind date.
Yes.
Somebody set you guys up?
Yes.
Wow, and how long have you been married?
63 years now, I think.
63 years.
That's
3
amazing.
years.
That deserves a round of applause. Wow. Anybody else married more than 63 years? I had a funny thing. I had a couple sitting in the back of a room, and they were kissing through the whole show. And I said, "What are you guys, teenagers?" He goes, "Nah, we're in love." I said, are you guys even married? He goes, yeah, we're married. I go, how long are you married? And again, he looks at the wife. And I don't know why men do this. It's like they're checking to make sure they can answer the question. Right? He said, okay if I talk now? And he says, we've been married 76 years. And I said, where did you meet? We met in elementary school. In 3rd grade, we've never been separated. We have the same birthday, and we're both 95 years old. And I said, that is amazing. That's a long time to be together. What do you think is the magic that's kept you guys together so long? And again, he looks and goes, oh, we stopped talking to each other about 20 years ago. Which is not really good. You should talk a lot. When you talk, it keeps your brain working. And if you didn't know this, if your brain walks, your body will follow. So keep your brain active. Talk to people. Say hello to everybody. Remember when you moved here, you didn't know anybody? Now you're like a big family. You see somebody sitting and they're looking at the floor, walk over and say, are you okay? You could save a life. 15% of seniors suffer from depression because we realize that we're starting to get older and we can't do what we used to. You know, some of us can't dance. I still.
You do okay?
Then I take a nap. Now, when is your actual birthday?
February 14th.
Wow, mine's February 5th.
Well,
Well, happy birthday.
yeah, and happy birthday to you.
Congratulations, all right. The happy couple both wearing red. I appreciate that, my favorite color. All right, next row back, who's got a birthday back there? Oh, you have a birthday coming up, or had
Well,
one?
I had one in August,
And how old did you become?
97.
97, amazing.
I wore out 2 weddings.
You wore out 2 husbands, what?
Well, I wore out. One passed away at 60 after we'd been married 40 years.
Wow.
And the second one, we were married 30 years, and he passed away in 2009.
Wow.
So she's looking for another day here.
Yeah. If anybody wants a short marriage, we got it right here. Wow, what's your name, dear?
Velma Von Moss,
Velma, where are you from originally? What town?
North Hollywood.
North Hollywood. All right.
When I was born there, it was just called Lancashire.
Oh,
And
right.
the movie stars started coming in. It didn't sound romantic enough.
No,
So
they
they had
had.
to call it North Hollywood.
So what street did you live on? Because I know the area
Well,
well.
I lived on Satacoy.
I know exactly
Yeah,
where.
there was Satacoy, you know.
Satacoy at Lancashire?
Satacoy and Satacoy Street School is where I went, but I lived on Sherman Way.
Oh my God, I know the area so well. Because
Yeah.
I live right past there. I'm near Sylmar. I'm in a town called Pacoima, which means no white people. I am it. And I don't want to say people are racial there, but I went into a convenience store and the guy goes, what do you want, gringo? I said, gringo? What is it, 1984? Well, that's great. Well, and yeah, that's your brain is still sharp. That's good.
I work crossword puzzles.
That's it. See, this is important. Keep your brain going, because if your brain stops, everything else goes. Crossword puzzles, read out of a book,
Yeah.
play poker like people were doing in here earlier.
And twice a week they have me yodeling for them. I'm known as the greatest yodeling grandma.
Can you?
I play the guitar,
Wow.
yodel, and I was on Steve Harvey's show in 2016.
She's going to be appearing here next week. So you want to make sure.
I appeared here yesterday.
I don't doubt that. That's great, but she's a good example. You have to keep your brain going. How many people here play bingo? Good. Bingo is a great game because it works different parts of your brain. Number one, you have to turn up your hearing aid so you can hear it. Now, I play some places where it's all assisted living, and I walk in and they all see me and they turn up their hearing aid. Then they hear me for a while and they turn them back down. So you have to hear what they're saying. Then you have to adjust your bifocals. If you don't know what bifocals are, you never wore them, they're annoying. There's 2 lenses. One so you can see distance, and the other one is a magnifying glass so you can read. The problem is it makes things here look closer, so you can't judge distance. When I first got mine, I was tripping going up the stairs. You know it looks stupid when you fall down, but when you're going like this. So you got to adjust your eyes. Then you have to try and get your hand to put the chip on the board without knocking the rest off. Now, Belle and I were having dinner, and I developed a spasm on my left hand. I'm left-handed. If I hold something heavy, it's steady, but if I hold something light and I clamp down, it shakes. So we're having macaroni and cheese. I start, I go like this, my hand shakes, the macaroni and cheese flies off the fork, hits the wall, slides down to the floor. Do you have any idea what it's like to be thrown out of a Denny's restaurant? That is the ultimate embarrassment. So play bingo, it's good for you, because you got to do all these things at once, but keep your brains active. You know, you ever talk to somebody and you say, how you doing? And they go, I'm okay. That's someone who sits around and watches the TV all the time. Don't do that. Remember when we were growing up, it was called the boob tube? It was called the boob tube because they said if you watched it too much, you would grow up to be stupid. Obviously, the love connection. Remember that back in 1984? And we have a TV set here, and I don't know if we can get it going, but I have a video of it, and I'm going to try and get it to show up here. Let's see if that works. Alright, it's lit up. And now let's see if we can hit play and make that happen. It looks like it's in place. Alright, let's see. It blinked. No signal comes in. Alright, this is not going to work. I'm not going to play with it. Just a nice trick. You can see that another time. I'll set that up for later. But yeah, keep yourself busy. That's the most important thing. You got a swimming pool. Swimming is really good exercise for your body and your heart. And you don't think about it, but swimming is good for your brain because you have to coordinate all your parts. It's not like walking, where it's just one foot after the other. It's leg, arm, foot. Keep yourself busy and enjoy yourselves, you know? Anybody else back there got birthdays? Second row? You, sir, you put a finger up. We'll go with you. What's your name?
Lynn.
Well, I said sir, but we'll talk to you since he just sat forward. All right. Lynn. And so your name's Lynn, right?
Yeah.
I just figured that out all by myself. See, I'm not as dumb as I look. Close. And when's your actual birthday?
November 7th.
November 7th. And how old will you be?
60.
I love the way she said that. 60. Like, you don't want to accept that, right?
I'm like the youngest one here.
All right. Well, that's okay. You know, I mean, I would love to live in a place like this. It would be great. You know, it's quiet, you know, a bunch of drunk kids throwing bottles off of the ceiling and stuff like that, so it's great. And what did you do before you retired?
We taught people how to open a fine business shop, and I taught them how to do QuickBooks.
That's great. So you help people with
While they're
finances
working.
and stuff in
Yeah.
business. That's great. It's hard. Teaching is very rewarding. It pays okay, but it's really good to do. Well, happy birthday to you. And now you, sir. What's your name?
Spears.
Spears.
Yes.
I'll stay out of the way.
There you go.
And where are you from originally?
Originally, I was born in Birmingham, Alabama.
Alabama. Lovely people down there. Very sweet. And I mean sweet. These people are, hi, how are you? And they lean in to hear you. Very nice people. When did you move to California?
53.
All right, I was 2 years old. And when is your actual birthday?
November 27th.
So you got one coming up too. And how old will you be?
75.
All right, congratulations. I think that's great. Anybody else got a birthday coming up?
No, I had one.
You had one? And this gentleman right there, when's yours birthday?
November 10th.
No, we got a lot of November
I'll be
birthdays.
65.
65, all right. I got 2 years on you. Young. Remember that phrase? Or whippersnapper. Remember that? Where did that come from? Nobody even knows what that means. You know, whippersnapper? What's that mean? What's a whipper? I don't get it. All right, and over there, when was your birthday?
September 22nd,
All right, and how old did you become?
69.
69. And do you know this man next to you?
Yes, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. So you're married?
No.
No?
We're living in sin.
Oh, all right.
Oh.
So you're just shacking up.
Yeah, distracted.
That's all right. I had a couple sitting in the front row, and she had her hand on the inside of his thigh, all the way up. And she kept moving her thumb. And I said, look at you guys. Are you guys a couple? And she goes, whatever. I said, are you in love? She says, yeah. I said, are you together? She goes, yeah. I said, are you guys married? She goes, yeah. I said, how long have you been married? She says, 4 years. I said, that's not bad. How long have you known each other? She says, 54 years. I said, so you knew each other for 50 years, and then you got married. What made you rush into this? And she looks at him and giggles and goes, we were waiting for our spouses to die. See, now that's like a joke. The basis of humor, things are funny because you don't expect what's going to happen when you get a surprise. So I got a couple jokes for you. 88-year-old Sadie walks into a bar. She's got a parakeet on her shoulder. The bartender says, Sadie, why do you have a parakeet on her shoulder? She says, well, I'm getting kind of lonely, you know, and if a man can tell me what it weighs, I'll go home with him. Bartender tells everybody, well, Sadie's a little bit lonely here, and she's got a parakeet. If you can tell her what it weighs, she'll take you home. Guy walks up and goes, Sadie, let me guess. She goes, okay. He goes, 10 pounds. She goes, close enough, let's go. Woman runs in the house. Honey, there's water in the carburetor. He goes, what? She goes, there's water in the carburetor. He goes, there's no water in the carburetor. She's looking at the ground. Oh my God, no. There's water in the carburetor. He goes, there's no water in the carburetor. Where's the car? She goes, in the pool. An older couple walks out of a restaurant. They walk past the wishing well. The husband throws a quarter in. The wife throws a quarter in, falls in, and drowns. And the husband goes, wow, it worked.
Terrible. What was her wish?
Just to get away from her nagging husband. Guy sitting in a bar crying. His friend walks up and he goes, why are you crying? He goes, I had a big fight with my wife. He goes, so why are you crying? She said she was going to leave me. Why? Why'd she leave me? She says, I don't listen to her when she talks. Well, what does she normally say? He goes, I don't know. I don't listen to her when she talks. 99-year-old man walks up to a young lady in a department store. He says, excuse me, do I come in here a lot? Couple's driving, they get pulled over. The policeman walks up, taps on the window. The gentleman puts the window down. The cop says, do you know why I pulled you over? And the guy looks at him and goes, because you're a jerk? The cop goes, sir, that is a bad way to start a conversation. I pulled you over because you're doing 65 in the 35. The guy goes, I was not. The wife pipes in, yes, he was. He was doing 70 before that. Now the cop is laughing. He just thinks this is so funny. He goes, all right, okay, well, I pulled you over because you're going too fast. He goes, I wasn't speeding. The wife goes, he was doing 80 on the street before we got here. Husband turns to his wife, stay out of this. No, shut up. You shut up. You shut up. Stay out of it. No, they're arguing. Cop sticks his head and says, do you guys always fight like this? She goes, only when he's drunk.
That's a good one.
Again, the element of surprise.
Yeah.
So I want you guys to remember one thing. You all came down here. You all walked, rolled, hobbled, however you got here. But you got here. That's the bottom line. If there's something you like, something you want, if it's important to you, will find a way to do it. I raised my 3 kids, and now my 4th one, on 2 basic principles. Number 1, you only judge people on how they treat you. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter sex, color, creed, accent, nothing. Just how are you with that person? And number 2, if something's important, and it's really important, you focus on it and you say, I will find a way to do it, and you work on it, and you work on it, and you work on it until you find a way of doing that. And you never, ever give up. No matter what happens, never, ever give up. That's the most important thing. All right? So now I want to get you guys breathing. I don't know if you know this, but breathing is good for you. Try to breathe every day. Okay? If you're walking, you get a little winded, stop and slowly take a couple breaths. But air is good for you. It keeps your brain working. and one of the ways you can get your breathing going and your brain is to sing. So we're going to do a couple songs. First one is called When the Saints Go Marching In. All right, it's 2 parts, so you can jump on the first or second part, but I want everybody to sing along. Ready? Oh, when the saints go marching in.
Go marching in.
Oh, when the saints, everyone, go marching in. I wanna be in that number. When
the saints go marching in.
Wow, there were some harmonies going on over here. You guys sing well. Let's get a bus and go on tour. We'll travel around the country. We'll put a sign on it. We'll call it the the geezer tour.
Yeah.
And the young people that won't know what it is. What's a geezer? All right, let's do one goes back to childhood. Row, row, row your boat. Same thing. You can jump on the first or the second part, and then it comes back around. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Keep going. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Yeah, all right. Bringing up the rear, the captain. She's doing harmonies, and the whole front row, they got their feet tapping. That's great. All right, now we're going to do something a little crazy. This is called a keytar.
Wow.
These go back to the 80s. I bought this in a Ralph's Market. It was over the freezer section. Have you ever looked up there?
Yeah.
There are things you didn't know existed. I saw an 11-slice toaster. Not 6, not 5, not 10, not 12. 11. 2 slots of 5 and 1 more slot at the top. Like the guy said, what if there's a friend? So I saw this thing and started taking it on the road because it has things built right in. They're like rhythm and blues. You hit a button and it goes. And you can jam with it. And when you're done with the song, ain't that cool? It's a whole band. It's all built right in. All you gotta do is push a button. Very simple. So what we're going to do, we're going to sing a song you guys probably remember. It's called Zippity. Very good. Judah, zippity, my, oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine coming my way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day. Anybody want to dance, Mr. Bluebird, on my shoulder? It's the truth, it's actual, everything is satisfaction. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day. Wonderful feeling, wonderful day. Not yet. You guys are good. I gotta find out what rent is out here.
Here we are.
Yes, you are. Well, you are in Rancho Cucamonga, otherwise known as the Cook. Then I think they were talking about you. So,
Oh, thank you.
that's all right. You're notorious for one reason or
I
another.
thank you, my mother thanks you, and my Uncle Charlie thanks you.
Hey, thank you all very much. You know, hey, folks. So what we're going to do now, we're going to close with what I did on the James Corden show and basically on the Gong show. There's a song you may remember. It's called Louie Louie. Now, everybody knows the lyric. which is Louie, Louie, oh baby, we gotta go now. But nobody knows the rest of the song. You couldn't understand it because they admitted on the radio 10 years ago when they recorded it, they were drunk as heck. They have no idea what they said. So if you think about the song, it's basically so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up the song on you, and you get to sing Louie, Louie, oh baby, we gotta go now. Ay, 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 ay. Here we go. I start out my song, she's sitting there moving her head. Yeah, I'm talking about the lady sitting there in red. Look at this, she's clapping and she's right on time. I think you're doing good, honey, doing fine. Now he's tapping his knees, she's tapping hers too. And then she turned her head to look at you. And she looked back and she smiled. Now they're holding hands. See, I'm making up the song about what I see. Do you understand? Come on, Louie, Louie. Oh, baby, we gotta go now. Ay, 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 I said Louie, Louie. Oh, baby, we gotta go now. Ay, 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 ay. Now I got some people out there just staring at me. You followed up the song and that was cool for me. They're living in sin or whatever they want to call it, that's fine. And I'm up here trying to do the Louie, Louie line. Louie, Louie. Oh, baby, we gotta go now. Ay, 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 I said Louie, Louie. Oh, baby, we gotta go now. Ay, 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 ay. Anybody can play tambourine? I knew it. Just one beat at a time. Just like clapping. Very good. Anybody want to dance? Okay, alright, just checking. Alright, she's playing the tambourine right now. She's actually she's on the beat for you. Oh, she just picked it up, did a couple extra sweeps. That's cute. She did 3 and 4 and she's doing okay. We're down here, we're gonna try and keep on playing. Now I want to hear you all sing the line loud. Let me hear you do a Louie, Louie right now. A Louie, Louie. Oh, baby, we gotta go now. Ay, 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 I said Louie, Louie. Oh, baby, we gotta go now. Ay, 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 ay. Now, here's my big closing. This is a thing I call karaoke. Remember, I'm a trained professional. Do not try this at home. Sometimes, well, great, now I sound like Daffy Duck. My tongue's bleeding, you're laughing, that's great.
You got it that far, I thought you had it licked.
Oh, give him a round of applause. I did have it licked. Tell you, when I first got this thing, everybody wanted to touch it and play with it. Once I started playing with my tongue, nobody wants to go near it. But I watch it after every show. All right, last time. Louie, Louie. Oh, baby, we gotta go now. Ay, 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 I said Louie, Louie. Come on. Oh, baby, we gotta go now. Ay, 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 ay. Well, I gotta get out of here. You guys have been absolutely splendid. If you remember nothing from my show today, remember that it's not over until the fat lady squats. Or something like that. But never give up. he's proof. If you wanna do it, you'll do it. Never give up, never give up, never give up the ship. Keep on going, and I hope to see you guys next time. Take care of yourselves.